So, Chad Powers Season 1 just wrapped up after 6 episodes, and honestly, this might be the best show you're not watching right now. This Hulu original from Glen Powell and Michael Waldron is perfectly positioned to blow up during the holidays, and if you haven't checked it out yet, you're seriously missing out. The 6th and final episode dropped on Hulu on October 28, 2025, and let me tell you, that ending was wild. It sets up so many new storylines if this show gets renewed. For those who don't know, Glen Powell plays Russ Holliday, a disgraced college quarterback who literally uses prosthetics to transform himself into Chad Powers so he can lead the struggling South Georgia Catfish to victory. I know. It sounds completely ridiculous, like some kind of prank. But here's the thing. Chad Powers takes that absurdity and turns it into something actually relatable, inspiring, and genuinely moving. Plus, it's hilarious. And Powell absolutely crushes it in this role. So let's break down everything we know about Chad Powers Season 2. Season 2 renewal status. Alright, so here's the deal. Chad Powers Season 2 is not officially confirmed yet. There's been no announcement from Hulu, but considering that cliffhanger ending, a second season seems pretty likely. In an interview with Decider, Michael Waldron revealed that he and Glen Powell actually have ideas mapped out for 3 seasons, and they're already brainstorming what Season 2 would look like. About that Season 1 finale, Waldron said, "We always intended to have a cliffhanger, and we're working on it to try and make sure everything that happens next is good and fulfilling." And get this, Waldron also confirmed they won't make fans wait forever. He said, "We want to make it on time, on schedule. I don't want this to be one of the shows that people have to wait forever for. There's only 6 half-hour episodes. It's not a long thing. We don't want to withhold any longer than we have to." So it's clear that Waldron and Powell know how abruptly Season 1 ended, and they're committed to continuing the story, at least for one more season. Expected cast for Season 2. Now, since Season 2 hasn't been confirmed, the cast technically hasn't been confirmed either. But based on how Episode 6 ended, we can make some pretty solid guesses about who's coming back. Some characters are guaranteed returns. Chad Powers himself, Coach Ricky, played by Perry Matfeld, Danny, played by Frankie Rodriguez, and Coach Hudson, played by Steve Zahn. Here's the full main cast. Glen Powell as Chad Powers, Russ Holliday, Perry Matfeld as Ricky Hudson, Frankie Rodriguez as Danny Cruz, Steve Zahn as Jake Hudson, Wynn Everett as Trisha Yeager, Quentin Blair as Coach Bird, Toby Huss as Mike Holliday, Clayne Crawford as Scott Dobbs, Colton Ryan as Jerry, and Megan Ketch as Wendy Hudson. Other characters likely to return include Trisha, Coach Bird, Mike Holliday, Coach Dobbs, Jerry, and Wendy Hudson. And hey, Season 1 had some amazing cameos from Eli Manning, Haley Hawk Tua Girl Welch, and even Glen Powell's actual parents. So don't be surprised if we get a few more celebrity appearances in Season 2. Season 2 story details and plot predictions. Okay, this is where things get really interesting. The ending of Season 1 perfectly sets up the storyline for Season 2, while leaving room for new plots to develop. Episode 6 ends literally right before the whistle blows to start the South Georgia versus Georgia game. So obviously, Season 2 will either kick off with that game, or we'll see the results right away in the premiere. But here's the really critical part. 2 more people have discovered Chad's real identity, Mike Holliday and Ricky Hudson. His father, Mike, was actually impressed and proud of his son. And who knows, maybe his makeup skills will come in handy on a more regular basis in Season 2. Ricky, on the other hand, not so much. She's furious. Ricky basically hates Russ for lying to her, and the only reason she's not exposing him is because if Russ goes down, so does her career, her dad's career, and probably the entire South Georgia football team. She's completely stuck, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how she's forced to help keep Chad's secret while absolutely resenting him. Some other storylines that could gain traction in Season 2. We might learn more about Danny and why he's so committed to helping Chad. And then there's Trisha, who's become more of an ally to Jake Hudson throughout the series. And here's a big one. Jerry, the backup quarterback, seems to have finally snapped. He also seems really close to figuring out that there's something seriously off about Chad Powers. He could end up being the main antagonist in season 2. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack and explore if we get that second season. The groundwork is definitely there for an incredible continuation of this story.